Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to look at commodities and do our daily technical analysis update. We'll also do the Platinum members midweek update for the finding-value.com channel. So look for that as well. And I'm going to walk through the dollar, yields, precious metals, and all of the ETFs and commodities that I follow. I'm going to give you my financial opinion, and we'll dive right in here with all that. So I'm going to start with the dollar. The dollar definitely higher today. It's not like we didn't see this coming. Well, statistically, I should say, large buying pressure, not much selling pressure. That generally leads to a move higher. We got that move higher today. We'll see if that continues with the momentum that was generated today. And that's kind of what it looks like in the short term. Longer term, it could be. Well, I don't want to jump to conclusions, but I'll just say this. This is a topping pattern. We call it the Batman pattern. And generally it heads lower from here. I don't know if this is necessarily a bottom in the dollar as in a long-term bottom. It could be more of a shorter-term bottom where we get kind of an ABC correction out of this. So we'll see what this looks like over the next few weeks. The dollar is getting stronger, and that is being accompanied by stronger yields. So when we look at the 10-year yield, yields are rocketing higher here, up 1.28% on the 10-year. We've broken this downtrend line, and it looks like it wants to continue higher. The 30-year yield also continuing higher here, and they all are interconnected. Higher yields, higher dollar. There is that interconnectedness within these groups, and obviously bond prices move conversely to those, so bond prices are heading lower. So yields higher, prices lower, and the DXY is getting stronger against other currencies because of the strengthening monetary conditions in the currency of the dollar and yields. So the TYX TNX ratio basically flat today. Didn't really go much of anywhere, 0.09% higher. So the curve didn't really invert or normalize. It just moved up entirely, the whole curve. So look at the CRB index. CRB index was down a little bit. I know we had a little bit of weakness in crude oil and some of the other commodities like natural gas, but we are heading a little bit lower today. CRB to S&P 500, that is also heading lower. This could be maybe a double top in the short term, and we've been going lower in that channel. So that is remaining intact at this time. Gold is lower. We still have these larger selling pressure days in relationship to the buying pressure. That's what we see in this circle there. You see larger red candlesticks than the green candlesticks. What that means is that the selling pressure is greater than the buying pressure. Over here, it was exactly the opposite. And that this candlestick, we'll call it candlestick formation, or the configuration here, it hasn't changed yet. So I still think that this could potentially head lower until I see a reversal candlestick out there. So I still think that gold could potentially head lower in the short term. Silver is at support. You can definitely see that we've got support there. That's what that wick on the bottom is. It means that the buyers and sellers, they sold this thing down. It got bought back up right at that support level. And it's not just a single line. It's a combination of many things through here. And it's the psychology of humans interacting with each other, saying, yeah, I'm going to buy it when it gets back to 2150. And that's exactly where we got, 2150. We'll see if this line holds or if there's further downside. You have to also keep in mind that we don't look at things individually. We don't look at silver individually. We look at silver as a whole of the precious metals. Gold still looks like it could head lower here. So that means that the selling pressure of precious metals could draw down silver more than where we are today. Platinum is also selling off, and it finished quite strong. That does look like it could continue to the downside. I have not purchased anything yet, and I'm waiting for this to put in a bottom somewhere down here. We've got the XAU to gold ratio that is also selling off to the downside. We've been selling off from this pattern which squeezed up a little bit and broke to the downside. So we could see further downside to the gold and silver mining companies in the short term in relationship to gold. Gold still looks like it wants to fall. I would think the same of the mining companies themselves. So GDX still falling down 2.87%. We need to see indications that this is trying to turn and bottom. We do have some support all in this general vicinity of prior trading, and we do have a lot over here as well. What that means is we've got buyers and sellers all exchanging around this area shares. And generally what happens is when the price comes back to that area, people want to buy again. That provides support. That is where we're going to get our support, and we're going to find if we can get some support generally where we're at. SILJ also trying to find support. It's down 2.43% today. Zooming on out, what you do is you look to the left, right where that line is, and you do have more support all through here. So we're in that support region, and we just got to find some buyers and turn this thing around. We need the price of the precious metals to turn around first, I think. Or I should say, we should see people position in the equities first before the precious metals start to strengthen. Crude oil still looks really good. Every time this gets sold off, we get buyers showing up, and that's what the wick is on the bottom. So it tries to sell off, but buyers come in and buy it back up. So if you look at this kind of from this perspective here in the short term, we tried selling off here, and you can see the buyers came up and broke that downtrend again, which means that the momentum is broken and we're going to the upside. That's on a short term. If we back out a little bit more, that's what I'm looking at in that type of thing. And you can see that we're bouncing between a couple of support levels in the short term. We've got resistance all through this region here. That's why we keep hitting it. And we've got support in this region down here. The support is heading a little bit higher each time. So we're looking for a support zone, hopefully soon, somewhere in the 76, 75, 74 range, where we have a higher high and we continue to get these highs to come on up, or I should say higher lows. We keep the lows coming on up to higher lows. So crude oil still looks very good. It still looks like it's good to go in the short, not in the short term, but in the medium term. I like it down here. Natural gas also trying to find a bottom. It looks like we're just swapping back and forth, buying and selling pressure in this general vicinity. We'll see through the candlesticks if we try to put a bottom here. I like natural gas because generally you get a downward selling pressure, a sideways move, and then you get some buying pressure coming up. So the buyers are starting to equal the sellers right where we're at. That provides opportunities for the equities. Looking at XOP, yeah, you know me, they are outperforming, for the most part, natural gas and oil. They're holding steady. And we're in a gigantic accumulation, or not accumulation, a gigantic pattern right now, a consolidation pattern. So we're consolidating sideways here in this pattern here, and then I think we'll eventually get a break to the upside. The fundamentals all support higher oil prices, looking at it from a supply-demand standpoint. I know some people are seeing crude oil builds, but the crude oil builds are from a decline in refining capacity. It's not converting it over. And we do build during some portions of the year, and this would be the time that we do it. We're not building very much in terms of the grand scheme of things. The world, in terms of the entire world, has been using more and more oil, and the demand for oil continues to increase. Projections at 110 million barrels by 2025. This isn't, in my opinion, going to go lower in the short term if you have projections of 110 million barrels by 2025. OIH, also, let's zoom in there, also being quite resilient. It's tried selling off, but buyers came in and bought it back up. That's generally a sign of strength, not weakness. So that's what the wick is on the bottom. Nice little hammer candlestick. We'll see if we can break out of this consolidation zone. Sprout Physical Uranium Trust, it is creeping a little bit higher outside of the band. We have so we're creeping up here. This is a bloody nose. It's a small down day right next to it. Momentum's heading higher. I think we're going to break to the upside of uranium here any second, like as in a few days. Looking at URNM, we are also seeing resiliency there. That's another bloody nose where we could potentially head higher in uranium. We are also broken out above the trend line, which is now acting as support. There's the trend line. It's acting as support. And we have a bloody nose on a monthly candlestick basis. So it's positive on the monthlies. It is neutral on the weeklies. And it's neutral because we've got this selling pressure that existed to bring us back lower, and we've been moving sideways. There is a confliction on what's conflicting is we've got short-term kind of, I'll say, a battle between the buyers and the sellers. Medium term with the selling pressure of the three candlesticks and again, we are struggling to move higher against these three selling off candlesticks. So in the medium term, we could go lower. It is a possibility, but the buyers are battling here, trying to push it higher. And on the long term or longer term, we've broken out of the downtrend, which suggests we go higher. So we've got conflicting data on different time frames on this particular ETF right now. TAN also looking better today. Nice, good buying pressure, nice, strong finish. And we are coming to the corner and tip of TAN. This is ready to, I think, explode at some point to the upside. So it's consolidating right to the tip. This is called the dead period where the buyers equal to sellers. And we should get hopefully a nice move to the upside when it finally breaks out. And the reason I think it's going to break to the upside is because we came from the upside, consolidated into it. And that's generally a move to the upside, a continuation pattern. COPX down 1%. Again, it still looks good because we've got momentum coming back up through this day. We just gapped lower when we did it. So the momentum's higher. It still looks all right for a potential move to the upside if we can get some traction here. Lithium also moving higher. This is a bullish engulfing pattern that looks like it wants to go on up. So lithium in the short term looks good to go higher. That looks good. REMX also looking to go higher. It's a down day, but the momentum, we gapped lower. We came down here, and the momentum came all the way back up, and we closed up there. That screams higher with the momentum. If you were to look at it and chart it on a short-term basis, you kind of zoom out here. There's your candlesticks that we're looking at. Here, we can move this to, there it is there, there it is there. So we're trying to break to the upside here, and the momentum is coming back up towards the end of that day, and that's what we're going to watch. We're going to see if we can break out of this little falling wedge pattern. And this is on a short-term 5-minute candlestick line there. There's the line. See it? Going back to the candles, the S&P 500 still looking good. You can see that on a short-term thing, we're breaking to the upside. We're going to go to the dailies here. We're breaking this to the upside in the short term. It finished strong as well. Momentum's to the upside. That looks really good for a move higher for the S&P 500. Bullish engulfing today. We've got the NASDAQ also moving up 0.92%. It's looking good. Buyers versus sellers, and the buyers are starting to win out here. Nice, strong finish. I do think we could move on higher. EEM also, we gapped lower and it was bought up throughout the day. I still think that the momentum's to the upside. Short term, I would say we're moving higher for EEM. XHB, bullish engulfing. That generally indicates a move on higher for home builders. The home builders look really strong. We've broken out of this double. It's basically a double bottom. Sometimes you sit there, which we did. We came up, came back, and I think we're moving on higher. Moo just moving sideways, but it moved in a way where we gap down. Momentum's coming back up. I think we're moving higher here with the bullish engulfing that we've got today. Copper selling off a little bit. We do have some good support down here. That's why we keep hitting it and moving back up. It is a down day today. There is some buyers and sellers duking it out at this level. So we'll see which way we go. We'll have to wait and see who wins this battle here. Lumber moving higher, 6.2%. What did I say? Falling wedge, breakout. Falling wedge, breakout. Return move, and then higher. So that's where my mind is. I think we're going to move on higher. We're looking at iron ore futures. Again, we're at 124.20, right where we've got the circle there is where we're at. About 124, it's a little bit, yeah, it's where I got the circle. We're breaking to the upside. I know this chart, I don't know why it's not updating, but I do think we're going to move to the upside in iron ore. Nickel down 5.6%. This guy's been moving all over the place. This is a difficult read. I don't really see, could this be a shoulder developing where we come back down to do a retest? It is possible. It very well is possible. We get a head and shoulders pattern, and we come back to the breakout. So we could head a little bit lower in nickel in the short term. Aluminum, slightly lower today. Again, nothing really to worry about here. I like aluminum on a longer term basis. We are still probably out a little bit from, I'll say, the large deficits in the market, but inventories are low, deficits are out there, and they'll come eventually. Baltic Dry Index down 8.6%. A little surprised on this one, but we are incredibly low. We've got a falling wedge. I do think this is going to move to the upside eventually. We've got Newcastle Coal basically moving sideways. We've got, if you were to look at this, we came up here, we squeezed up to some degree, we broke out, did a retest, and we came back down. This is also somewhat correlated with natural gas coming down, I think. But I do think that we'll come down. We'll gather our wits, so to speak, and once we consolidate, we'll turn around and move on higher in coal. Ethereum and Bitcoin moving higher today, quite a bit higher too, 7.13%. You can see the bottom hammer candlestick. There's your bullish engulfing, and we're moving on higher. Same with BTC, big old move higher to the upside today. So looking at this, pretty crazy how all these things are going. Bitcoin and Ethereum look really good, actually. And I still like energy very much so. Very, very much so. So that's what I've got for today. Precious metals still looking a little bit weak. We could see a little bit more downside. I haven't seen any reversal candlesticks in it. Some of the other sectors, yeah, that's hit and miss on them. Energy still looks strong. Oil, natural gas still looks strong. The overall markets look strong too. So, that's what I've got for today, guys. Hopefully this helps you, I don't know, make whatever decisions that you guys like or provide entertainment, either one. If you guys have any interest in joining the finding-value.com website, you can become a platinum member. Use the word discount in the coupon code. We've got a Saturday, 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time platinum question and answer session. I'll be releasing a midweek update today, so you can also see that as well. And you can see what interests me in the markets and what I like and what I'm doing. All right, guys, we'll catch you later. This is Finding Value.